All right, so you're ready to dive into the world of LASIK, huh? A stack of articles ready to go. Well, get ready for some serious aha moments because the journey to perfect vision, it's surprisingly wild.
It really is.
We're talking pioneers, breakthroughs, crazy innovations, all leading to LASIK becoming one of the most popular elective procedures out there.
What gets me is how much we take for granted now actually started with these, like, almost impossible ideas.
Right. Like, get this, LASIK didn't even start with lasers at all.
No way. Seriously.
Seriously, we're talking 1948, smartphones, forget it, internet, nope. Color TV was still blowing people's minds.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay, so what was it then?
So this ophthalmologist, Jose Ignacio Barraquer, right? He invents this technique, keratomileusis. It's about reshaping the cornea. But are you ready for this?
I don't know, you're making me nervous, huh?
He used a microkeratome and a lathe.
A lathe, like for woodworking.
Got it, a lathe. It's wild, right? Makes you appreciate how far we've come.
You're telling me. From lathes to lasers. But Barraker, he was a genius. He knew that to really fix vision, you had to reshape the cornea itself. His tools. Maybe a little old school now, but that idea, totally revolutionary.
So how do we go from woodshop to, well, eye lasers? There had to be some major breakthroughs.
Oh, tons. And it wasn't a straight line either, more like a bunch of aha moments from brilliant minds everywhere. Like in the 70s and 80s, there was this Russian ophthalmologist, Svyatoslav Fyodorv.
Wait, Fyodorov, I've heard that name. Wasn't he huge in, like, contact lenses or something?
Exactly. He was developing radial keratotomy, RK, which is a whole other way to correct vision. But get this, he was also pioneering implantable contact lenses.
See, this is what I love about these deep dives. It's like a puzzle. All these seemingly random discoveries end up influencing each other.
Totally. And right when Fyodorov's making waves with implantable contacts, 1980, boom. This physical chemist, Rangaswamy Srinivasan, makes a discovery that changes everything.
Okay, I'm sensing lasers are about to make an appearance.
You know it. Srinivasan, he figures out that ultraviolet lasers, the kind used in LASIK today, can precisely etch living tissue.
Whoa. Okay, now we're in laser territory, but I'm guessing it still took a while to go from etching tissue to, like, reshaping an entire cornea, right?
Absolutely. And that's where Stephen Trokel comes in. Mid-1980s, building on Srinivasan's work, he starts experimenting on animal eyes, determined to figure out how to use lasers to reshape cornea safely.
So Trokel is the bridge, then, between realizing lasers could work and actually trying it on human eyes.
Exactly. And his work, it directly leads to Marguerite MacDonald, another amazing ophthalmologist, performing the first successful photorefractive keratectomy, PRK, on a human eye in 1987.
Wow. Building on each other's work? That's incredible.
That's science, my friend. A chain reaction of brilliance.
So before the break, we were talking about PRK, the first time lasers were used to correct vision. But we all know that LASIK is the big name now, so how did we get there?
Well, a PRK was a huge step, but it wasn't perfect. It had a longer recovery time, could be more uncomfortable for patients. LASIK was the answer to that.
Okay, so less invasive, but it still uses lasers, right?
Or yeah, even more advanced lasers. This is where Dr. Columbian comes in. In the 1980s, he was laser-focused, you could say, on refining this technology. And by 1989, he patents the first laser specifically meant for reshaping the cornea.
Wow, so that's it then. The birth of LASIK as we know it.
Exactly. But like with all big inventions, it still takes time to go from a brilliant idea to something doctors are actually using on patients.
Right. Testing, refining, FDA approval.
Exactly. And that finally happens in 1998. That's when LASIK goes from scientific marvel to something everyday people can actually get.
1998, so not that long ago, really. Imagine being one of those first patients going from blurry vision to, like, crystal clear sight because of a laser.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it? And the tech has only gotten better since then. We've talked about the lasers themselves, but there are two huge advancements that have really changed the game.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Hit me with number one.
Femtosecond lasers. Ever heard of them?
Femtosecond rings a bell, but remind me.
So we're talking pulses of light so short. A femtosecond is 1/4 of a second. It's mind-bogglingly fast.
Okay, so crazy fast lasers, but how does that translate into a better experience for the patient?
It's all about precision. These femtosecond lasers create the corneal flap, which is a key part of LASIK surgery. With incredible accuracy, it makes the whole procedure way less invasive.
I see, so less invasive, faster healing, all because we can control these lasers down to, what did you say, a quadrillionth of a second?
Yep, pretty wild. And that leads to the whole bladeless LASIK thing you've probably heard of.
Right. So that was advancement number one. What's the second game changer?
This one's all about personalization. Imagine a 3D map of your eye, but not just the shape, it's mapping every tiny imperfection.
Like a fingerprint, but for your eye.
Exactly. That's wavefront technology. It creates this super detailed map that guides the laser, so no two ASIC treatments are exactly alike.
Wow. We've gone from lathes to personalized lasers. LASIK has come a long way. I know what you're thinking, though. How successful is this high-tech procedure, really? That's what we'll be diving into right after the break, so don't go anywhere. All right, so we've covered the history of LASIK, the lasers, the tech. But let's be real. The big question is, does it actually work?
It does. The success rate is actually really impressive. We're talking a 96% patient satisfaction rate for LASIK.
96%? Seriously, that's like top tier for any elective procedure, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It shows just how far LASIK has come in terms of technology and technique. And the thing is, even for those who aren't a good fit for LASIK, maybe
Right.
because of their prescription or corneal thickness, there are other options with great track records too.
Right, like PRK. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. PRK boasts a success rate around 95%, so still a fantastic option.
So many choices. Are there any other alternatives worth mentioning?
Absolutely. There's SMILE, or small incision lenticule extraction, which is great for nearsightedness and has a super fast recovery time.
Okay, got it. Smile. Anything else?
Yep. LASIK, or laser epithelial keratomileusis. This one's often a good choice for people with thinner corneas, which might not be ideal for LASIK. It really highlights how important it is to find a surgeon who can assess your individual needs.
Totally. It's not one size fits all, that's for sure. So it seems like the future of laser eye surgery is really about personalized treatment plans.
100%.
And with all the technology and advancements we've been talking about, where do you think things are headed? Even more personalized, even more precise.
Oh, absolutely. I think we'll see even more accurate lasers, better ways to diagnose and map the eye, maybe even stem cell therapies to help regenerate corneal tissue.
Stem cells, wow. It's mind-blowing to think about.
It really is. The goal is always going to be making these treatments safer, more effective, more tailored to each individual person.
So we've gone from lathes to lasers, personalized treatments, and maybe even stem cells in the future. What a journey.
It really has been. It's been a pleasure exploring all this with you.
And for our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of LASIK. From those unexpected beginnings with lathes to the incredible precision of lasers today, it's a wild ride through the history of how we've come to see the world a little more clearly.